بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وأصلي وأسلم على نبينا محمد وعلى أهله وصحبه أجمعين أما بعد عمدة الأحكام Arousing the intellect تنبيه الأفهام يعني Arousing the intellect with the explanation of عمدة الأحكام by Sheikh Saleh Muhammad Al-Uthaymin rahimahullah. And today we read Hadith 6 عن عبد الله بن عباس رضي الله عنه قال مر نبي صلى الله عليه وسلم بقبرين فقال إنهما لا يؤدبان وما يؤدبان في كبير أما أحدهما فكان لا يستتر من البول وأما الآخر فكان يمشي بالنميمة فأخذ جريدة رطبة فشقها بنصفين فغرز نعم في كل قبر واحدة فقلنا يا رسول الله لما فعلت هذا قال لعله يخفف عنهما ما لم نعم ييبسا نعم. وعن عبد الله بن عباس رضي الله عنه he said the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam passed by two graves and said indeed they are being punished and they are not being punished for something big. As for one he used not to protect himself from urine, and as for the other he used to carry and namima. Then he took a fresh palm and broke it in half and planted one in each grave. We said, O Messenger of Allah, why do you do this? He said, perhaps the punishment will be lightened on them as long as the two halves of the palm leaf do not dry up. Narrator Abdullah bin Abbas bin Abdul Muttalib al-Hashimi al-Qurayshi radiyallahu anhu, the son of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam uncle, the son of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam uncle, the Habar, scholar of this nation and the Tarjuman, interpreter of the Quran. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam hugged him and said, "Oh Allah, give him knowledge of the wisdom," or he said, "Give him knowledge of the book." He placed for him water to make wudu, so he sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Oh Allah, give him understanding of the religion," so he obtained much knowledge. He was very eager to obtain knowledge. Umar said about him, that is the servant of man. He has a tongue that asks a lot of questions and a heart that is very intelligent. The Messenger of Allah died when he had just reached the age of puberty. He died at Taif in the year 68. The subject of the Hadith, clarifying the punishment of the person who carries an namima and the one who does not protect himself from his urine. B. Explanation of the words Ainam Aywa. May Allah grant us success. The Qabrain, the duel of Qabr, and that is the spot where the deceased is buried. Yani Bikabrain, the duel of Qabr, and that is the spot where the deceased is buried, and that was in the graveyard Al-Baqi. Al-Baqi is the graveyard of Medina. May Allah make us those who are buried in Al-Baqi, because if Prophet said if you are able to go to be buried in Medina, you should do so. Anyone who can do that should go and be married in Makkah, in Medina. Innahuma, meaning the two graves, and what is intended is its two occupants. So it means that this grave had two occupants. La yu'addiban, they are being punished, and lam is for emphasis. Fi kabir, for something difficult upon them to leave it, and fi is for reason. La yastatiru, he does not protect himself and he does not purify himself. Min al-bawl, al is for al-ahad, ad-dihni, meant to acquittance, meaning from his urine, as he has come in the other narration. Yamshi bil namima, he carries it between the people, and namima is to convey what people say about one another, so to sow dissension between them. Jarida, a leaf from the dead palm. Fashakaha, he split it, and in narration he broke it. Nisfain, meaning he made each piece equivalent to half. Fagharraza, he planted it or dressed it. في كل قبر on each grave, and that was at the head. لما فعلت هذا? Question to know the wisdom behind that. لعله is for ataraji, hoping, and the ha is damir ashan, a pronoun that has the meaning of ashan, the matter, and explained by the sentence after it. Wow. أيوة نعم, explained by the sentence after it. يخفف meaning the punishment. أنهما on the two occupants of the graves. يعني يخفف يعني reducing. Meaning reducing the punishment now. Meaning the punishment now. أنهما on the two occupants of the graves. ما لم يي بسا, meaning the two halves. The two halves of the dead palm leaf which broke into two halves. And ma is masdariyah darfiyah, and the meaning is that the Prophet ﷺ hoped that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will lighten the punishment on the two occupants of the graves until the dead palm dries up. See the summary. The Prophet ﷺ passed by two graves. It is not one grave. They are not buried in the one grave. It is two graves. The Prophet ﷺ passed by two graves in Al-Baqi. Then it was revealed to him the punishment of those in the two graves by hearing their voices. And it was revealed to him the reason for that punishment. There was a group of the companions, may Allah be with them, with him, and so he informed them about that to warn them from the reason for the punishment. He clarified that the reason for their punishment is something not difficult for them to live off if they wanted to do that, even though it is something great with regards to its punishment. As for one, the reason for his punishment was that he did not pay much attention as to al-tahara, which is from the condition for the prayer. He used to not purify himself from his urine and did not protect himself from it. As for the second, the reason for his punishment was making division between the Muslims through an namima, which society is ruined by causing enmity and hatred between them. Then Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu, the narrator of the Hadith, that the Prophet ﷺ took a fresh dead palm leaf and broke it in half. Then he implanted one in each grave at the head, and he said, perhaps the punishment will be lightened on them until the two halves dry up. The benefit of the Hadith: confirmation of the punishment of the grave, and that an-namima and not protecting oneself from urine are from its reasons. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala could reveal it to the people to manifest a sign from the signs of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, or karama, miracle from the miracles of the wali, the pious believer. The obligation on the person to protect himself from his urine, and likewise the other types of urine and that are najisa, impure. Allahumma sallim. That an-namima and not protecting oneself from urine are from the major sins. Calling attention to a great significance of the prayer as not fulfilling one of its conditions is the reason for the punishment of the grave. The compassion of the Prophet ﷺ for his nation, even the sinners amongst them. The shafa intercession can be effective for a specific time because of his statement. Perhaps the punishment will be lightened on them as long as these two do not dry up, and those the death palm. The eagerness of the companions, may Allah be with them, for knowing the wisdom behind the action of the Prophet ﷺ. It is not a sunnah for us to place a dead palm leaf on the graves, because we do not know that the occupant of the grave is being punished. Therefore, placing a dead palm leaf on his grave is to have a bad assumption about him and expectation that he is being punished.